Okay, I'm losing my creativity to do so many intros in the same day. This is getting difficult. Hello beautiful bookworms, my name is Katarina and welcome to my channel. So as you probably guessed it, this is the 4th day of 7 days of top 7 that I am currently doing this week. So if everything goes right, you should have 3 more videos already posted and some more to come already. And for those of you that are picking this up for the first time, I will leave a link down below G's from Bookhurst's announcement of this activity. Those are 7 days of top 7 things that have topics that you would just have to show your 7 books for this, and I will also leave my link to the playlist that I'm doing of this top 7. So without further ado, let's get into the 4th day. So the theme for the 4th day is creative worlds, and obviously me being a lover of fantasy as I am, I was just so excited for this topic. It's just so beautiful. So let's get into it. So the first book that I have to show you guys is actually a manga, and it's called Sularun, the Girl from the Other Side. I actually have volume 1 and 2 of this manga, and it's currently coming out. It is story and art by Nagabe. I don't know if this is a group or just a pen name for someone, so if you know something, let me know please. But I am really enjoying this. This is set in a world where there's a division between the outside and the inside, and in the inside is where the humans live their lives, like in a village, a middle-aged village or something like that, and in the outside is where creatures like this one with some horns and all black and with beaks and stuff like that live. And supposedly if those creatures touch any of the humans will be cursed and will have to go and live outside because they will turn into these sorts of creatures. Obviously, you're kind of understanding throughout the story that this is not always the case and that this is not how things really go. So obviously, this is a very interesting story and I really like the setting. The setting is very dark, but is very beautiful, and the division between the inside and the outside and what it could mean metaphorically or literally, it's very interesting. The next one is one that everyone and their mothers knows about. Even my mother knows about this one. And that is Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. Obviously, no one, and I mean no one, can say with their entire mind in their place that the world from A Song of Ice and Fire is not a very peculiar and different world, obviously with some reminiscence of other older fantasies, but with a twist, with a very unique kind of map thingy that I actually have the first map in here. I don't think that this has the... It says the Iron Islands, but it doesn't have... It has the Bear Islands as well, but it doesn't have all the Wormsy places where Daenerys is in the beginning of the book. The Dothraki lands and everything. This map doesn't have it, but it's a very cool map. I really enjoy the world building in A Song of Ice and Fire, or Game of Thrones, or whatever you want to call that. I'm not even going there. And it's really amazing. All of the world building is great in this, and obviously you guys know about it, so I don't need to spend a lot of time talking about it. The next one that I have to show you is one of the Ephemera trilogy, and it is Sebastian, the first one of the Ephemera trilogy by Hen Bishop. And the Ephemera trilogy is about this sort of land, this world that is divided into places. You can never reach a place without crossing a bridge, and a bridge can be anything: a stone, an actual bridge, just a mist, or something like that. But the problem with these bridges is that they take you to where your heart's desire, to the biggest feeling in your heart, and not exactly where you want to go. So this is kind of a dangerous place. It has bridge builders, which are the people that maintain the bridges and just construct them, and then it has landscapists, that are the people that maintain the little fragments of the world called landscapes together and just functioning and protect the people that live there. And it's very interesting. It's a very cool world building actually, and Bishop is really great with their world buildings and I really adore them, so I had to show it in this video. And obviously if you want to try pick this up, although I wouldn't recommend you to start Anne Bishop with these books because this trilogy is a little bit more complicated, in that the Black Shields trilogy, for instance, that it's very well detailed, and this one is not. You have to make some assumptions and then it's told you, so you know, but it's beautiful and it's a creative world. Next about creative worlds is obviously The Mistborn World by Brandon Sanderson, and I am holding The Hero of Ages, which is the last one from the first Mistborn trilogy. As I haven't read the second right now, I'm probably reading it. If this goes up in the 7th, I'm probably trying to read the second Mistborn trilogy because I have a challenge to do. But basically, this book is set in a world where the bad one won. So you have a Lord Ruler and you have a group of people that are trying to dethrone him because he's bringing poverty to an entire race. You have a lot of nobility and you have a lot of, you know, people revolting against the sovereign. You have an ice planning, and you have a place where if you are a Mistborn, you can digest metals and they will give you different powers, and that for me is such a cool magic system. And I think that the world building is actually great too, although it's not the best that I've seen, but it's really great the way that he talks about the characters and beings that can exist in this world, because not everyone is human here. I love how he uses the mists as a sentient type of being, and it's really amazing to just read all of the descriptions of the world that he does. So although it's not my absolute favorite world building, I enjoy this pretty much, and it's really good. Next we have another one by Anne Bishop, and it is the Dark Jewels trilogy, obviously, and I'm holding up the first one of the trilogy, which is Daughter of the Blood. So basically this is set in this kingdom where queens and female rule over males, and in the time that this has happened, males are being enslaved by everyone, and they are just revolting and they are trying to live a better life, and there's the need for the sorceress that will bring peace to all of the races and to all of the men and to all of the women, and that will turn this around and turn this into a harmony. And this is basically a setting that I really enjoy because it is like a world building like Portugal, because the author, what she did was she put in her channel in the internet, she put a map that is kind of very similar to Portugal, and she said that it was supposed to be very similar to Portugal and that it was the setting of this trilogy. And I'm from Portugal, and I was so blessed to just learn that. And so for me, obviously, stop falling, damn it. So for me, obviously, that's a very interesting setting, obviously, and it's one of my favorite worlds. It's a very creative world. It has a very creative magic system in which there are jewels, and as darker as the jewel is, more powerful the person gets. And it's very amazing because the magic power only comes from there and from the inside of the person, and not exactly from other stop following, and not exactly from other places or others or other things. So I think it's very incredible. You should pick this up if you can. This is one of the best worlds that I've ever read about, so jump into it. Another world that is very creative is, in my opinion, the world of The School for Good and Evil by Soman Chainani. And I know that I'm repeating books in this list, but I don't have that many books, and to be honest, they deserve to be shown in here. So basically this is a fairy tale-ish kind of world that I'm losing the ability to speak, everyone. That bends the genre of fairy tales, and basically you have two schools that are connected by a bridge, the School for Good and the School for Evil, and then you have a lot of enchanted forests, you have a lot of enchanted kingdoms. It's kind of a fairy tale, but it's way more imaginative than that. It's really beautiful. You just go through places that are amazing. You go through this corridor that's just built with leaves and plants and everything like that. You can go into the inside of a magician's cape. You can go everywhere and anywhere with this book, and it's just so creative and so beautiful. And please pick this up or give it to your kids if you have kids, because this is middle grade and it's just so good. It's just amazing. And then lastly, obviously, I would have to go with The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien, and I am putting Silmarillion up, not because I've read it, but because I've heard that this book is a lot more about the world building and how the world was created than The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit is about. So basically, I've only seen the Hobbit movies and the Lord of the Rings movies, so I've never read any of these, and that is about to change, I hope, by the end of the year, beginning of the next one, I hope, because I set my marker to April of 2018 to have read this, but you never know. But yeah, that's why I'm holding this. I think this is about the creation of that world, and you know, everybody knows that Tolkien began fantasy worlds, and he's the one that created one of the greatest fantasy worlds of all time and one of the creative ones. So Tolkien had to be on my top for the top 7 days sort of thingy, kinda. So that is all for today, guys. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you're participating with me and with everybody in the 7 days of top 7. But if you're not, you can leave in the comments down below what worlds you think are the most creative ones in writing. And please, if you like this video, leave a like or subscribe. And yeah, guys, that is all for today. Happy readings to you all. Bye!